Good day, YouTube. Today is December 29th, 2017. It's probably 40-some degrees outside and raining like cats and dogs. But we're in the shop today. It's kind of after work. I'm going to get a kind of a head start. It is Friday. On my weekend project. The weekend project for this weekend, being New Year's weekend, is to not just repair this rusted out area of the Stepvan, which is right below the driver's window, but to actually just cut it out, and we're going to create a battery compartment here. It is a little touchy in that is the propane tank. We determined last weekend it was 40 gallons because it took 38 when I got it to the propane place to fill it up, and we took all their propane. They had to shut down, turn all their customers away. Sorry, but she's full. But it is full of propane, so we got to be a little bit careful. So what we have is right there is a piece of structure that actually just kind of holds a partition wall between this compartment and the propane tank. It's just like a wall. It's all open underneath. But and then here, what there was at about this level, about a ½ inch above my red tape line, was the floor of the Stepvan on the inside. So I've dropped this down 1/2 or 3/4 of an inch or so. So we're going to cut this a little lower. We might creep up on it and cut it again. But let's not cut it too short the first time. Let's wait to cut it twice before we cut it too short. So we're just going to cut that off. I'll buzz a couple of rivets off, which will free up this side and this side. This side, it's half attached. And look at that Bondo is really holding the rest of this rig together. And then we'll just have to cut off wheel and get rid of the evidence, shall we say. Then we'll see what we got left. My guess is we'll have to take this piece completely off. And on the other side of the Stepvan, I used a 1x2 piece of steel, which I have plenty of for the weekend, to just simply replace that, and we'll tie it in back here. If I have to take a little sheet metal off there, that's all right. What this is going to look like when it's all said and done is a compartment with batteries in it, with a hinged, probably a flat bar or angle iron door with expanded metal in it. Let the batteries breathe. Or I might put a piece of aluminum in it. It's all open to the bottom too. So I don't know exactly what it'll look like. That's going to be rough, but we're going to see how it goes and see what I have for materials kicking around here, and we'll get it done. I have plenty of steel. I'm probably going to use like a double angle iron that go this way, and then this way and this way, so the batteries will just slide in like a rack. It would be nice if it was big enough to hold 4, with the idea of maybe going to 6. So 4 Group 27 deep cycle batteries is the goal. If I can fit 6, we'll outfit it for 6. But I really got to open it up, see what I got. And then we'll go from there. So I'm going to get started, do a little cutting and grinding, throw a few sparks, and I'll check back with you in a little bit as we get this thing opened up, and the plan will develop as the sheet metal comes off, and we'll see in a minute. Well, this is what we discovered when we opened up Pandora's box. We have a pile of rust. I mean, look at that. It's inches deep. Cut fairly easily. Did take one whole cutting wheel, but I mean, it didn't take long. But we got the can open. Now, what are we going to do with it? So I'll put on a new disc, and I'll bend this thing back a little bit, and I can cut that off there. This looks good. This is like the door panel that falls below the floor. So this isn't the Stepvan that had a door here, but I'm sure in their design it could have had a door or not a door. This one was not a door, unfortunately, but that's what we got. So we'll have to I gotta see what's in here. Hang on. Yep. So, more cutting, digging, discovering. It's a mess. But that's alright, we'll make it new again. Check back with you in a little bit. Well, we keep peeling away the onion and to get down to something we can use. But it's going okay. Got all the inner fender, or the inner door thing cut out. Turns out it's not what I cut out. There's not much left of it. There's another 6 inches or so, and it'll all come out of there. So you can see what I was dealing with. So this is like a foot below the floor, and it was pretty much dead, wasted space. There was actually an access panel to it, but it had never been used for anything, so it is what it is. It was actually not sheet metal. It was like 1/8-inch diamond plate. You might be able to see in the picture the diamond plate pattern. There was a lot of diamond plate on the floor area around the engine and so forth, so it would stand to reason. So I think what we got to do is keep on digging, keep on cutting. So we'll just cut this thing out, cut the whole floor out. 1, 2, 3 sides. Get this all cut and trimmed out. We'll get this piece cut here, and we'll start off grafting a 1x2 all the way up front, and then we'll tie in this support. We might have to cut it off a little bit, and we'll build something in its place. But cool thing about working with steel, man, just cut it out, cut it out, cut it out, and if you cut too much, you can put some back. So that's the idea. And then for attachment, I'll show you what I did on the other side, because I rebuilt the step a year or so ago in this thing. And I just took all the stuff off that was bottom, and then I cleaned up the sides, the sheet metal. It's real heavy sheet metal on the sides, and I cut angle iron, and I just I spot welded it or stitch welded it all along the sides there, and then I attached the rest of my framing to that. I'll show you real quick on the other side what that is. So from here on out, it's just a lot of grinding, cutting, and getting this thing ready to start measuring and fitting new steel back in. So a pretty good start for a Friday. I didn't need to get crazy amounts of work done tonight, but it's nice to get it started. I can be thinking about it, get an early start tomorrow. Sunday is New Year's, and I'm DJing on New Year's, so it's not a day I have to work, but I do have New Year's Day off, except it's going to be a long night, and so forth. Let me plug this light in, and I'll show you what I did over here, because it's basically the same hole, but on the other side. So this is Trex decking that I used, and I think it's 1.5-inch angle iron that I welded into the sides, like so. It looks good. And then this was the 1x2 that I just grafted onto the outside of that same sheet metal reveal, making this super strong. So I'll do something very similar to that on the other side. So I'm gonna go do some more cutting. I'll check back with you in a little bit. Well, we're 3 cutoff discs into the peeling of the onion, shall we say. And we got the, I have the most of that floor out of there. It's a matter now of doing some fine tune. Get a light up here. Some fine tuning on the edges there, and start getting some steel cleaned up. We can start measuring some stuff. So we're getting there. It's quite a pile of mess. I think I could put all 1/4-inch steel back in here and not put the weight back in that I have already taken out. You can see a little daylight through some of this stuff yet. So we'll just keep cutting until we have decent stuff. But little progress photo. Went to dinner with the wife, came back and cut the floor out. We'll do a little more cutting, and I'm going to call it a night, and then come back, hit it in the morning. Makes noise so the neighbors know that I'm still alive over here. All right, we'll check back with you in a little bit. Another one bites the dust. Throwing in the gloves. Gonna call it a night. Got a little more cut out of there. We'll hit her up bright and early in the morning. Kind of got this corner cut out a little bit. This is just kind of a shield between here and the propane tank, which is right there. How do you think I was comfortable grinding that or cutting that sheet metal out a 1/2 inch away from the propane tank? But I might just kind of clean this up a little bit. We'll see. I might have to cut a little bit of this off, and we'll catch some structure there. I might take some rivets out, peel some panels away tomorrow. I'm starting to think about not using square tubing like I did on the other side to tie this up front to this, but use that quarter wall 2-inch angle iron. That might start my flat spot for my battery tray at a good height, and then we'll figure out the rest of this tomorrow. So I got a little bit more to cut out over here. My back's starting to get a little bit sore. I don't want to push it too hard, so I'm in good shape for tomorrow. Got to clean up this mountain of mess. Get the leaf blower and blow this dust out of here, and then get underneath there with a wire wheel and a grinder and clean up all that metal and all that rust. So I got something to weld to, and tomorrow we'll be fabricating. So that's a really good start. I'm pretty happy with it. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. For me, it's tomorrow. For you, just a couple seconds. Well, it's Saturday morning, about 8 o'clock or so. It's overcast. It's probably 40 degrees, 39, 40 degrees outside. Kind of nice. I can have the door open. So, I have most of this stuff cleaned up this morning. I don't have everything like wire brushed. I don't know exactly where all my steel's going to end up, but I think what I'm going to do is start measuring and cutting some steel to tie this this into this, and then that'll figure out the rest of my rack here. So I guess there's nothing left to do but to start a cutting. I think I'm gonna try to fit some 2-inch angle iron here and down this way. Yeah. And get my angle cut here and get this all fit. Make that some sort of straight, and then figure the rest of this out. I'll probably just kind of tack it in place in case I need to remove it to gain access in there. But you can see there's my driver's seat. This is all accessible from the top side as well. When the whole thing is done, then I'll make a removable piece of plywood or something on some angle iron tabs for the interior side of it, so I could actually access batteries from inside. So let's get to measuring and cutting it, and I'll check back with you in a little bit. Well, we're making a little bit of progress. I have got a 2-inch angle clamped across the front here, and I've got an idea that I was going to drop two 2-inch angles, one from each corner, and we're going to call that the corner. So I can get up a little higher there and get some stitch welding happening, and then stitch weld in that corner. That's going to be strong enough. I wish there was something a little better in there, but that's what I did on the other side, and it came out real good. So we're going to do that. So I've got those pieces cut and fit, and then a piece about 22 inches long that's going to connect those together and parallel this one. And then all I have to do is if I build this all as an assembly and prefab it, where's my light go? There it is. My 2 uprights and the cross piece, and I can set that in there. I can level it up and match this one here, and then weld that one into place. And then all I have to worry about is my 2-inch angles that come this way to hold the batteries. Might be limited to three batteries, maybe is all that will fit here. I guess I can live with that. I'd like to have 4. Once I get that far in, I'll start playing a little more with fitment and see if I can fit 4. If not, 3 is what we got. 3 is what we'll live with. So I've got that all fit and on my prefab table over here. So let's show you what I've done, and we'll weld it together. Yeah. So here's the uprights we were just looking at, and my 22-inch piece crosses those together. I went ahead and cut the inside out, so I've got nice fit, and my corners, I call that just like a butt corner right there. We'll just get all that thing welded, be super strong. Nice to have my fab tables here. That's a 1/2 inch solid steel right there. But it gives me a square corner to work with. So just have some magnets hold it in place. I'll come in here real quick and tack the corners, just keep it straight, and then weld it. Let's weld that real quick. Won't take but a minute. Stick you up in a stand. Hope I have time this winter to clean up my shop. What a mess. Okay, gas on, welder on, helmet on, turn it on. Better have a ground. Let's turn the wire up a little bit. Grounds on. Little tack. Right. So I got part of this welded. I'll get the other half of it welded here, and then we'll go fit it on. So we'll check back with you in a little bit. Well, we got that piece fit on the back wall there, in good shape to get it stitch welded onto what we have there, with room enough above that to put some pieces of angle which will support a piece of plywood floor for the close off that interior. And got this piece of angle on the outside fit well now. I cut the inside out so that this would line up center, and we got this piece cut at an angle. Got a lot of good surface there to weld that to. So I just need to level and make sure that that back piece, where's my light, that piece is at the same height and same level as this. So I'll spend a little time and adjust that back piece, and then we'll I got to get some of that paint off of there so we can have something clean to weld to, and then we'll weld this stuff in, and then we'll just work on getting these cross pieces put in and cut and fit and so forth. So check back with you a little bit. Well, we got some stuff welded in here. I think it's looking pretty good. I was, see if we get any light in there, was able to get some really decent welds on the sheet metal there. Pretty good. And I used another piece of 2-inch angle to pick up that support and got it welded down there to the body, and then up front, inside and outside. So we're in good shape. This thing is super stout, so no fluctuation. So now it's just a matter of cutting the 2-inch angles to go from one side to the other in the correct width or length to fit batteries. So I believe I'm gonna have to set 2 of them lengthwise this way, side by side, and one of them this way, like that. But let's do some measuring and do some more cutting of some angle and get it all welded in. It's all 1/4 inch 2x2 angle because it's what I have. But I don't know if I'm adding all the weight that I took out, all the rust and the dirt and the crud that was in there. So what the heck. And as you notice, what's left of that sign, it said 12,000 pound GVWR. And the thing was designed to haul weight. So it's got springs in it, enough to haul that weight, and it doesn't ride so good. So it's not hurting me at all to put a little weight in this thing. And it'll maybe improve the ride a little bit. Okay, we'll do some more measuring, some figuring, some cutting, and we'll get some more steel put in. Checking back in a little bit. Well, we got the angle iron all cut, and it's just setting in there right now, and I threw a couple batteries in there to mock it up. Looks like I'm going to be okay to get my 4 batteries in here with maybe about a ½ inch to spare on this side. 1, 2, 3 on this side, and 1 going the other direction on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I was hoping for. There just isn't enough room to turn this row the other way to go for a 6-pack, but 4 was the goal. So I guess what I'll do now is pull these mock-up batteries out of here, just clean up the edges of these angles that I just set in there, weld them in, and start finishing this thing up. Start figuring out how to trim this on the outside to make it look decent, and maybe fab up a door. I'm thinking expanded metal, but you know what? That maybe isn't going to look the best. Maybe just frame it and just rivet some aluminum in and call it an access door. We'll fiddle with that. But so far, so good. This is coming together just like I'd hoped. So we'll check back in a little bit. Well, we got them all welded in. I think we're in pretty good shape here now. So I think we're going to call this video on building the battery compartment complete. Obviously, I have a lot of finished work to do. This video is getting a little bit long, so I think we'll end it here. I think we accomplished our goal here. We got a spot for 4 batteries, and it looks really good. It is super stout. I mean, that's probably the strongest part of the whole dang Stepvan right there. So, thank you guys for hanging out with me in the shop this morning. Got a good start on it last night, Friday night. This is Saturday, and I don't know, it's probably a little bit after noon or something to get all this all this far in a relatively short period of time. It's good. I know I'm tied up DJing tomorrow, but Monday, New Year's Day. Happy New Year's, everybody. 2018 coming up. I'll be finishing up the finish work. So somehow I'm going to have to build a steel frame around here, and then build the door over that. I got some ideas brewing, and I got to patch this up somehow. But pretty easy stuff. And when all that's said and done, I got to go inside, weld some angle iron around, and then just fit some plywood to go down over the top, because it is a hole right on the left side of the driver's seat. So good to go. So thank you guys for watching, commenting. My channel's growing. I appreciate that, everybody. If it's your first time to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, thank you guys for coming back, seeing it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll catch you on the next one.